Ready for the show? I'm ready to start.
10, 9, ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower clear. Roger, roll.
Welcome to ET First Contact Radio. My name is Maarten Horst, I'm your host as every week, and I bring you with my program the latest galactic news. My guest today is very special. He is a really respected man, and his name is Clark Clelland, and he is a bona fide expert in the field of UFO specialists. He began his investigations of this strange phenomenon in 1947. His 60 plus years of study in the field of ufology puts him in a unique class of educators and investigators. He has lectured at many national universities including Notre Dame, Penn State, Ohio State, Berea, Mountain State University, New York University, Ohio State University, Embry-Riddle Astronautical University and others too, numerous to mention. On several occasions, he was requested by students and faculty to bring his unique topic to their campus as an elective course, although his work at Kennedy Space Center at the time overruled his acceptance. Clark McClelland's long association with the UFO phenomenon has followed him throughout his aerospace career. In 1958, he was assigned to the National Space Program at Cape Canaveral, Florida, and helped launch or viewed 679 rockets and spacecraft. In addition to being an astronaut engineer and technical assistant to the Apollo program manager during the Apollo moon landings, McClelland and other spacecraft operators did extensive technical checkout of simulated flights and mission objectives of the various shuttles to assure orbital success and the personal safety of the astronauts. McClelland knew many of the astronauts who perished during the Challenger disaster and certainly did all he could to keep each shuttle from such a repeat accident. He has held important positions involving such manned projects as Mercury, Gemini and Apollo lunar landings, Skylab, the Space Shuttle and Space Station. He was assigned to the cockpit of the Space Shuttle missions and spacecraft operator ground test astronaut. If anyone knows what is going on in space, with humans or otherwise, it's McClelland. In 1960, Major Donald E. Kehoe, the International Director of the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, NICAP, selected McClelland to be Director of the Kennedy Space Center and the Florida region. His unit's members included 2 NASA astronaut flight surgeons, many engineers, scientists and mathematicians as consultants and investigators. Later he was chosen at the Mutual UFO Network MUFON, director at KSC, and served currently as Assistant State Director for Florida. McClelland's name is on 3 commemorative monuments, Mercury, Gemini and Apollo missions. His name will be on the Space Shuttle, International Space Station and Deep Space Missions monuments in the future. So now, Clark, I want to welcome you full-heartedly to the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I am happy to be here, and I'm happy to speak to your audience.
Yes, my audience is always very keen to listen when I have such interviews.
Yeah.
Because, you know, sometimes I have people who are really interesting, like yourself, and I've had Robert Salas and others. And every time the story is different and nevertheless very interesting. So,
yes.
Clark, what happened to you? I mean, you have been so long in the field. Why don't you start directly? Because I'm going to ask a brutal question. I like to.
All right.
I like to shock. I like to shock people, my friend. What do you know? What are NASA's biggest secrets about ETs and UFOs?
Well, one of the first biggest secrets is NASA does not exist anymore.
You told me yesterday.
NASA was taken over by the New World Order, and it now flies missions, but they announce them as NASA missions, but there's no NASA any longer.
Right.
We had our 3 shuttles retired when they should have still been flying.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 that were built late were definitely able to fly far more missions than they did, and Discovery was the 3rd one that was part of the initial part of our NASA space program.
Mm-hmm.
But then in came Barack Obama, the so-called President of the United States, and through him and the influence of the New World Order on him, he retired all of the NASA space shuttles.
Oh my God.
Now listen please, everybody out there, because this is very important. The so-called International Space Program was designed, created, built, and sent into orbit by the NASA space shuttles. I worked on those missions. The International Space Station that was supposed to be called the Space Station Freedom was then called by the New World Order the International Space Station. which it is now, and it's controlled totally by Russia and China. They're friends in China, but China doesn't show up very often. But Russia, yes.
Yeah.
Now our astronauts cannot fly to the space station without the shuttles, so they have to wait for Russia to schedule them on their ships, and it's over $6 million per person when they fly them to the International Space Station.
$6 million?
It's $6 million per NASA astronaut. Yes.
Amazing. And how many astronauts are they flying to the space station, and how regularly?
Well, they usually send about 3 because that's all their spaceship will fit.
Yeah.
Then they have usually 2 Russians and 1 U.S. NASA astronaut. And then the NASA astronaut stays on the station. Maybe one of the Russians does too. And then they come back to Earth. And then later, a year, 6, 8 months later, there's a flight to there again with 1 NASA astronaut and 2 Russians again, or they may have one. They may have another foreign nation astronaut that flies.
Right.
And that's the way the U.S. space program died. It was murdered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, we have a Dutch astronaut who goes regularly to the space station. His name is André Kuipers, but I think he's a real coward because he's lying. He's not telling the truth about what's happening there, what they are seeing.
Well, the thing is, with the NASA and other astronauts, including the cosmonauts of Russia, they were all under a very direct order. You do not tell what you're seeing out there, what comes into the International Space Station and leaves it, any UFOs or foreign other objects that fly nearby. If they do, their mission is over. They will never fly again. That happened to everybody on the Apollo 15 mission.
Right.
Those 3 astronauts, after they came back, my friend, very good friend, James Irwin,
Mm-hmm.
he brought the gold from the moon back for me, and I have that gold on on my website, the Stargate-Chronicles.com. That's Stargate-Chronicles.com, and anyone that would be interested in having a 1/4-inch square piece of that on a color photograph of James Irwin saluting the United States flag, and behind him you can see the actual gold that anyone that would buy one of my moon gold photos, you can see them on my website. They would have that, and it's extremely rare for anyone to have a piece of gold that went to the moon and came back. The gold that I send to them was part of the wrapping around the lunar module. Now, I know something about that. The gold there and the Capcom that is the gold is electroplated on
Mm-hmm.
was actually electroplated on it because it also protected the astronauts that were going through the radiation belt above Earth, and then when they return, coming back through the radiation belt. So that gold is very, very important and very, very rare. Anybody that would like that, please look at the gold photo on my website.
And this website is called, again, Stargate. Stargate.
Stargate Chronicles.
Yeah,
Stargate Chronicles. Yes.
Yeah, Stargate-Chronicles.com. And it's a piece of gold that was at the moon and came back. And
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think it's...
Oh, it is, and it's very rare. And believe it or not, it's 40-some years old. And that little piece of gold on the photo I send to people has already gained in its value. The
Mm-hmm.
value of that, with some people that want the piece of gold from the moon, may pay $6,000 for it. Depends who the person is.
Yeah.
So it's very, very rare. I sign it, and I swear to any God that people want to believe in that what I'm telling them is the absolute truth.
Right. Hey, Clark, what is NASA hiding? Because there is something happening in the solar system. Did you hear about the planet Nibiru that's entering our solar system? Because there was a newspaper article in 1982 from NASA that they saw an object coming southwards, inbound,
Yeah.
on the South Pole, and it's due to arrive very soon because people are seeing two suns already on the sky.
Well, I haven't seen two suns here in Florida, and we have a lot of sun here. But I observed an object when I was off duty, when I went into the intelligence files of NASA that I had a code to go into it with. There were only 6 of us that had that code. So I would go in and study for future programs so I would know what to do when they come about, and I would have to participate in them.
Yes.
And I observed an object in very, very deep space. That was in 1991. That was very deep in space, that was headed towards the solar system where our planets exist. It was very deep. Now, I don't know if that's the planet you're talking about or not, so we'll let the people understand that I don't know that. I won't lie.
Right, I understand. But you know also about Comet Ison, because NASA, which doesn't exist as you told us, it's now under control by the New World Order. But anyway, NASA says that it lost control of this satellite that was tracking Comet Ison.
Yeah.
That they lost communication with it, but I think it's a lie because they don't want to publish the pictures because it's a spaceship.
Be very careful, people that are listening, because they will place lies on the internet according to what I've seen so far, and many of those lies make fear fall into the minds and hearts of the people that read it. That's why I wait to see if any of these things do happen, because there's a lot of lies on the internet. I'm an astronomer from the past, and I know about comets, I know about planets. My specialty was Mars.
Right.
I saw an explosion on Mars in 1952. No, 1954. I observed an explosion on it. It lasted for about 58 seconds or so when I observed it. And I didn't have a witness. I didn't have a camera, so I didn't photograph it. Later, a Japanese astronomer informed me that he had also seen that same explosion on Mars himself when he was observing the planet. Now, what that was, he and I have guessed at. Maybe an impact of a meteor, a large meteor, or maybe a small comet, who knows? Or it could have been a volcanic eruption in the area I saw, and there actually is a volcano in that area. So I may have seen it erupting at the time. Mars is a very, very live and living planet.
I know, and I have interviewed a guy called William Stillings who claimed to have been in a jump room portal to Mars.
Yes, I remember something on that, but that there I can't make any comments on because I'm not aware deeply about that.
Okay. But anyway,
I have seen in the shuttle in 1991, I went out to get a coffee and came back to watch the television screens I was ordered to monitor. There were 6 screens. When I sat down, I looked at the first and second one, but then when I got to the third one, I looked at it and nearly fell off the chair and spilled my coffee on my lap. There was a direct photo taken from the space shuttle of the payload bay, and it was showing a 8 to 9 foot tall creature. A humanoid creature, a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, a body, etc., with a helmet on, having orders given to 2 NASA astronauts that were floating with it out there.
Wow.
So the NASA astronauts were receiving orders from the 8 to 9 foot tall, I guess I could call it an alien creature, because that shuttle wasn't made for somebody that fast, that tall.
Amazing.
Behind the shuttle, I saw a spacecraft. Apparently the spacecraft of this person, or whatever it is. I don't know if it was a male, female, or what. Anyway, I didn't have a witness. The only witness of me that I would have had was my teammate. He was studying for his master's degree the next morning. I locked him in our shuttle, but in our space, in our in our in our office at the Space Center.
Mm-hmm.
I locked him in our vault. I told him stay in there and study. So he did, and I was monitoring when I saw this tall alien and 2 NASA astronauts in the payload bay.
Wow.
Okay, I observed the payload bay with the alien and the 2 astronauts for about 107 seconds. Okay, I was counting in on my astronaut watch. Okay, about 6, 7, 8 weeks later, I had a phone call from another aerospace engineer that was 5 stories below the Earth in New Mexico. He was in a secret office there.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Clark, I'm going to tell you something. I saw the same type of 8 to 9 foot tall alien, or whatever it is, inside the crew compartment of the space shuttle with 2 astronauts that were suiting up to go out into the payload bay with this giant.
A giant?
This giant had to bend over so far so it wouldn't hit its head on the roof of the crew compartment inside the space shuttle. The space shuttles were not built for an 8 to 9 foot tall giants. They were built only for about a 6 foot person, 6 to 6 foot 1 inch. That's all. Anybody bigger than that was too large to go in there. So he was able to get through the airlock and then go back out to the payload bay, and that's where apparently that giant and the 2 astronauts went, following what he saw them being in the crew compartment. So there's 2 separate shuttle missions, mine and this one. The United States and the government that controls it, the New World Order, are in great fear that people will learn what I know, because they don't want the human race to know the truth. And that's the problem behind the New World Order, who owns the world banks. If you want to find out what nation owns the banks and the New World Order, I think you can do that very well, because they have a god of greed on Earth.
Yeah. But they
That's
also
all I'm
control
saying.
the media, the mainstream media.
That's right. They own the media, TV, computers, the internet, everything else. Once they own all that, and they own the money, they will own every human being on the planet Earth that will then be called an enslaved species.
Yes. But
There
Clark,
will be-
Clark, I have to tell you that I'm hearing rumors from different sources, from a source named Cobra, from Benjamin Fulford and others, that the Dark Cabal or the Illuminati or New World Order, whatever you want to call them, are losing their grip right now. They are losing their money because there are forces like the White Dragon Group and others that are trying to take over the regime, that they're trying to take over the planet, and that those are the good guys. Those are the good guys.
There is also a very large fleet of Aryan nation starships that are in orbit around Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them refuel, go down to the sun and refuel off the sun, because they use electrical energy off the sun. The sun is electrical.
Yes.
And they go in there. I see them drawing the energy they need into their ships, and then they cut it off. The energy beam goes back to the surface, and they fly off. These ships are massively large.
Amazing.
Very, very big.
Mm-hmm.
And they have small ones, too, that do the same thing. So that Aryan culture is back here. They're from the star Aldebaran.
Mm-hmm.
They're here. They
Yeah.
are around the Earth, and they were waiting for the time when they finally destroy this evil parasitic disease that has taken over this nation and so many others. It's within the New World Order and
Yes.
the banking systems.
Yeah, and Clark, I just want to mention, I believe there are also other ET races who are waiting for the right moment to make themselves known and make a formal galactic full disclosure of their existence. And I heard that they will take over the media. They have the technology to break into our satellites and our internet and television stations.
Yeah.
And they will announce themselves in all languages of all countries, and make themselves known and make their intentions known, because they are benevolent.
That's right. The Nephilim are back, and they've been in the days of the Bible in the past. And they mated with earth women and had children of renown.
Mm-hmm.
The Nephilim. So they were tall beings too. Very tall.
Yeah, the Nephilim are from Nibiru, aren't they?
Well, I can't say. I'm not sure. I can't say certain things because it's still secret, and I have to keep that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we are listening to ET First Contact Radio, and my guest is Clark McNeiland, and Clark is selling a wonderful, wonderful golden frame with a picture of this astronaut that was on the moon and brought back the gold. And you can find his website at www.stargate-chronicles.com. So
Stargate-chronicles.com.
Yeah, it's amazing to have you, Clark. I'm very excited because you've been in so many space missions, so many projects with NASA.
Yeah.
But do you think NASA will ever declassify this information they have on ETs?
That depends on the New World Order and the enslavement of the human race.
Mm-hmm.
They're not about to announce that aliens are here and around Earth until the entire race is enslaved. And to be honestly frank, it's close to that right now.
Yeah, I believe so too. I believe we are very close indeed.
Yes. I had my entire retirement destroyed by that New World Order and NASA back in 1992.
Yeah.
What I should have had every year to be able to spend on my grandchildren and myself would have been anywhere from 80 to 90,000 U.S. dollars a year, which would have kept me safe and happy. Right now, all I have is a very small, what is called Social Security. And all I have to live on a month now, every month, is about $1,250 U.S. dollars. My rent is $375 right now. So it takes away from me with food, my car being needed repairs, the gasoline going up in price. I can hardly survive, and I have a daughter that needs my help. I help her, and I have a fiance that I try to help.
Yeah.
I'm sinking very fast. I'm 78 years old now. I want to get all that I know out to the public. I have 36 more chapters to release.
Right, well, start with chapter 1. Release anything you want on this station, because you can. This is ET First Contact Radio, and we want contact with the ETs, Clark. We want to bring the truth out, so tell it.
Well, tell me this then. Later, after this radio show, do you want me to come back and speak again on other subjects?
Of course.
Okay.
I'm always looking for guests, and I have 3 shows a week. Which is on. This is also for the listeners interesting to know. 2 hours on Sunday.
Okay.
From noon until 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is in the Netherlands 7 until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
On Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. in the Netherlands, which is on the east coast of the US, 2 to 3. And on Thursday I'm on BBS Radio from 10 to 11 p.m. Central European Time, which is...
All right, contact me in the future, a few weeks from now or whenever, and tell me now. I also was involved in archaeology and searching for the remnants of Atlantis.
Oh, tell me about it. That's interesting. I am interested in Atlantis.
Yes, Atlantis did exist.
Yes, I know.
And my friend, Dr. J. Manson Valentine, was a very famous archaeologist, and he discovered remnants of Atlantis in the Bahama Islands off the coast of the USA.
Mm-hmm.
And he found those, and then he found more remnants of Atlantis in Brazil and in Mexico in the Yucatan.
Interesting.
He found the ancient grave of a very famous former Mayan godlike king that was actually, believe this or not, I heard he was 8 to 9 feet tall, which means maybe related to my aliens I've seen in the shuttle.
Very, very probable, very likely.
That's right. So I'm very interested in those topics too.
Yeah, well, since history, since the human race was seeded on Earth, because I think we humans are coming from several different star systems, because the missing link between the Homo sapiens and the apes doesn't fit, because
No.
I think
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
The human race is made up of 5 separate cosmic star races on this planet right now.
Yes.
And the first one that was here, that was created through genetic experimentation, are the black race in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first race, and then they brought up to the point where they were made into what are called apes and gorillas, whatever else after that. But then they were interbred with other species, and they grew to what they are now, and they are very, very good, excellent people. And they were the first race. I call them the first owners of the planet Earth, because they were.
Mm-hmm.
Then came about the infusion of the Aryan races, and the Oriental races, and the Australian Aborigine races, all those. And the thing is this: the Bible of the Christians teach that Adam and Eve created the human race.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that can't be true, because if they did, then tell me how there were the races on Earth that are Asians from Japan and China.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
we would,
right.
We would
See,
all
that,
be.
that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit the Christian Bible.
It doesn't fit, and we would all be disformed because of incest.
Yeah, right. That's true. But we've had a lot of wonderful things happening on this planet. This planet is extremely rare. Actually, the Earth is a living thing in the cosmos.
Correct.
All the planets are alive.
I
The
know.
Earth is much more alive because it can support the human races.
Yes.
But then we have to depend on the sun, which is our nearest God, because without the sun, the Earth and all the planets disappear instantly.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
let's consider a universal God. I have that as a theory.
Mm-hmm.
We are living in the actual body of a universal God. I don't know where we're located in that body, but we live within that as a little tiny something that is similar to what is tiny and living in our own bodies on Earth.
Yeah, because
That's what celestialism is. It's my theory. I have copyrighted it, and I'll have it printed soon, and people that are interested can read about it and see what I say.
yeah, I agree with you, Clark. Because actually, the universe is built up of fractals. You know what fractals
Yeah.
are?
That's right.
It's a shape in a shape in a shape in a shape, and it goes endless.
That's right. So all those people that are listening now, please open my website, www.stargate-chronicles.com. Open that. Look at the chapters of my books that I've written. I've got 16 chapters there, and I just finished chapter 17 that I'll have placed in there soon. Those chapters are the truth of what I have had in experiences, like Jackie Gleason and President Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
They went to see aliens in an Air Force base in South Florida.
Yeah.
And they did see them because I interviewed Jackie Gleason for about 2 to 3 hours before he died, about a year before he died. He told me all about what he saw there.
Mm-hmm.
He told me who got them through the gate. These are people that were in the government of the United States.
Yeah.
And they went in and they observed these here alien creatures and part of the crash craft that they had in the Air Force Base. So there that is. Now, the Roswell creatures and their whatever they recovered there as far as a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Von Braun was at Roswell and observed those ETs. He told me so.
Wow.
He said he was there. Yes.
I didn't know Dr. Werner von Braun was there.
Yes, he was, and Dr. Oppenheimer, too, the atomic bomb scientist, was there.
Wow.
So that's part of my book chapters that I have on my web, StargateChronicles-.com. On there, you can read those chapters. They're not very expensive. I don't have a large number of money on there. $3.50 at $3.50 or something like that. And if you'd like, please, people that are listening, open my chapters. You will be amazed as far as what I have learned and experienced. And it's the truth.
Yes.
I won't lie to you. I won't lie to the human race. It's been lied to enough.
Indeed. In fact, you are bringing out the truth, and I want to commend you for this, Clark. It's very courageous. It's courageous of you to do this. It's very courageous.
I'm in poor health now, so I don't know how long I will live.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to get these chapters. There's about 36 of them left. I'd like to go through them and be able to get them out before I pass away. So I will do that, I hope, if I have enough time. But I'm in great pain, except for some pain pills right now, or I would be here actually kind of screaming a little bit into the phone. The pain, I was told by a doctor that I have, is 4 times what a woman has when she's giving one childbirth.
Oh, my God.
I've talked to women that have had childbirth. They said, oh, my God. They said, Clark, if I would have had a child with 4 times that pain, I would have had no more children after that.
Hold on a second, Clark. We are disconnected from the server now. I don't know what's happening. But
they're cutting me off. That's what they're doing.
Cutting me off now. The phone line is okay, but they're cutting me. This has never happened before. This has never happened.
It's because I'm being interviewed. That's why.
Yeah, hold on a sec. It just happened. It just happened as we speak. This has never happened before, Clark. I'm telling you.
Like when I went on Jeff Rentz. You know who Jeff Rentz is?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know him, yeah.
When he called me to go on a show, they interfered with my telephone and his telephone that time, about 3 years ago. And I couldn't go on, but then he got in touch with me again about a week later, and we did have the interview.
Yeah.
So it's the evil in this government that is the New World Order, also controls all the banks that are now in the United States, and they're working to try to control the banking in China. They sent the silver and gold of this country, the United States, to China.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and our evil politicians, the evil politicians in the U.S. Senate, Congress, and those in the White House are all totally controlled by the New World Order.
Yeah. We are back live now, Clark. So
okay, I
don't
hope
worry.
they heard that, because that was an amazing thing.
Yeah, I just want to tell the listeners we've been hacked. This has never. Well, it happened only once or twice, but because I have Clark on the radio. Sorry for the inconvenience, my friends, but we were disconnected. But we are back here for you.
Well, let me say this to the people, that the New World Order will do anything to keep me off the air, because they do not want people like you listening to this broadcast to know the truth that I tell. They don't want to know. They don't want that known, because if we rise up and finally realize that the New World Order is destroying every country on earth, we may overthrow it and march them to a wall and get rid of them.
Yep. Well, I'm sure there will be interference from the Galactics. And it's already happening. I've heard different sources saying, including Benjamin Fulford, that members of the cabal are now being arrested as we speak.
Well, just be careful with some people that claim to be UFO historians too, because a lot of them are controlled by the New World Order. MUFON is controlled by the New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a radio interview set up to do in Athens, Greece, 2 or 3 months ago, 4 months maybe, and they told that radio show, do not interview me, that I'm a liar. I'm a liar. Let me tell you why that's a laugh. I was for 2 years or over that, 2 years or more, the assistant state director for MUFON in the state of Florida in the United States. If I'm crazy, why would MUFON make me their assistant state director for over 2 years? So I think you can consider MUFON as being crazy.
Yeah, a lot of organizations are being infiltrated by the New World Order. They're being infiltrated.
That's right. New World Order is infiltrated everywhere. They own the United States Senate, the Congress, and everybody that goes into the White House.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Same here in the Netherlands, though.
Well, that's what they're doing. They want to take the world over because they were absolutely in fear of there being a future cosmic holocaust like Hitler had in Europe during the World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the human race wakes up, there will be a cosmic holocaust of these people.
Oh yes,
and that one will wipe them out genetically.
Yeah, well, the people are waking up because there are now so many websites with news about UFOs and the tyrants and the police state, the Illuminati.
Yeah.
All the information is being released now, and there are more people listening to this radio show than are watching television. I mean, not only my show, but all the people that are making these kind of shows.
Well,
because we are taking over the media now.
They destroyed my computer. I'm looking at it right in front of me here. I cannot use it. My telephone's had absolute problems. I have only a little small radio my fiance sent me. That's all I have to listen to every day and night.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wiped out. That's why I'm asking people to please consider if you can help me. I'm a very brave, courageous person that's doing this, even though I'm probably dying right now because 78 is kind of an old age.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get this out so that all of you listening will know the truth from me, and I'm not lying. I would not do that. There's no way I would lie to you.
I know, my friend, and you are very courageous.
Yes, I've been told that.
If you want to help.
I have too much courage because I go overboard with it, and that's when I have problems.
Yeah. If you, my friends, if you're listening and you want to help Clark McClelland, go to www.stargate-chronicles.com. And Clark, maybe you can tell the listeners who are just coming what you are selling. It's a piece of gold with a picture of the moon.
That's right. There's astronaut James Irwin, who was on Apollo 15. He flew to the moon there with 2 other men, and he was down on the surface, and he drove the first electric lunar rover car on the surface of the moon. Well, what was wrapped around the base of the lunar module when he landed, and it is still on the moon, by the way, was Kapton 24-karat gold, and it's a thin sheet of like plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I do is I put a 1/4 inch of that on the front picture of James on this beautiful color photograph of him. He's saluting the United States flag, and he's behind him. You can see the actual gold that you would have if you would like to order it. It's still on the moon. He brought me several sheets of that back, so I give it to people that are injured from warfare. And I don't sell it to people like that, but I need help now, so I have to sell it to people that may be listening to your show right now.
Yeah.
So if they look on my site, they can see what it is, and it's running out because once I'm out of the gold Kapton, 24-karat gold, that's all there will be. So when that's over, and anybody that has a piece of that, when there's none left, it becomes 1,000 more points rare because then it's worth a lot more money to people.
Yes. Hey, Clark, disclosure. Let's talk about disclosure, okay?
Well, I'm the disclosure.
You are the disclosure,
I'm
yeah.
Mr. Disclosure.
Yeah. Because as soon as the media will open up, because I know that the Opt movement just released a document and they send it to all major media stations in the world to tell the truth to the people and to listen to people like you and other disclosure movement people that are telling the truth. They have to open up now.
Well, there's a lot of people on the planet Earth that are in fear because of what's happening every place, like in Syria and every place else now.
Yeah.
I don't want this country. I don't want my country to invade Syria because it could start a major World War III.
Yes, but
That's
you know
why.
the whole thing in Syria is it's black ops. It's the whole attacks are created by the CIA.
Yeah. Well, the NSA, CIA, FBI, they've been infiltrated. They're not what they once were.
No.
So they're part of the evil New World Order government that now controls and owns the entire what was once called the United States of America. The United States of America was murdered by the New World Order.
Yeah, it's now a corporation.
That's right, big corporations, and they're owned by the New World Order too.
Yeah.
And they're blocking my books from being published because they can't afford to have the truth of what I'm telling all of you that are listening right now. They can't afford to have you all know of what I have just said during the last 45, 46 or 7 more minutes.
Yeah.
I've told you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Now accept it or not. That will be your choice. I'm not lying. There's no reason to lie. I am very poor. I'm actually in poverty in the United States. With all my accomplishments, experience, and background, I live in poverty in this country because they caused that to happen to me by destroying my retirement. They destroyed it. I went to the, I put it into a lawyer's hands. He took it to the federal court system. It was in Atlanta, Georgia, where he flew up there. He said, I think I'll get some answers on this. He flew up. It was about the 3rd year after I had him file a legal action.
Mm-hmm.
And when he flew up there, he came back. He said, Clark, they denied you going forth any further to the Supreme Court. He said, they said, your case is over. He said, your constitutional rights were destroyed and violated by these people.
Amazing.
And they're the court judges for the federal judging system of this country, controlled totally by the New World Order. So they destroyed my retirement, the lousy bastards. I'm sorry, but I have to call them that.
Yeah, well, I think prosperity is coming very soon.
Well, I hope so, because there's a lot that's happening in the history of the Earth.
Yeah.
We have about 5 to 6 races living on this planet, and at least 5 of them came here and were created on this planet as a colony of those star systems.
Yes.
Dr. Von Braun and I both agreed that the Earth is a cosmic nursery for alien creatures to come here and install their colony and watch as it grows. That's why we have so many religious fights and wars. We have so many beliefs from 5 or 6 different planets. That those beliefs do not go hand in hand with all the religious beliefs of the Christians, the Muslims, the Orientals, and all the rest. So anybody that thinks that Adam and Eve created this planet with the human race, that did not happen.
Nope.
They did not create Oriental-looking people. They did not create the black people from Africa. No. You can think they created the Christians in Europe, but that's up to the people that want to believe that. I am a celestialist.
Yes.
That's my own belief in religion. Celestialism is it, and I have it copyrighted. I'll put it up on my website very soon so people can see it. And Jeff Rentz, the Jeff Rentz program, for those listening, JEFF RENSE, Jeff Rentz. Go on his site. I have things on there that are advertised for people to see.
Okay.
Jeff's my friend.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
I feel like I'm your friend too, because without amazing disclosure guests like yourself, there's nothing to do for me, you see?
Yes, I understand that. So
Because you are making this program very excited.
that's right. Every program I have ever been on, and I want your listeners to hear this, every program I have ever been on, that includes television shows, have all broken audience records. They
Wow.
had an overflow of people there to hear me.
Mm.
That happened at the University of Notre Dame, a very famous university I love dearly myself.
Yeah.
I had an overflow of people there to such a degree that they had to stand outside in the hallway and just hear what I said because they couldn't sit down anywhere.
Wow.
That happened to me at Ohio State, at Penn State, New York University, and many others like the University of Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
So I have had overflow, very, very popular crowds everywhere I have lectured. But they have now ended my lectures at colleges. So the New World Order has stopped me from taking my lectures to the colleges because they own the banking system, and the banking system is what colleges rely on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the end of that.
Yeah.
I loved doing that. I did love doing that, but it's ended now. But I did a lot of lectures.
Yeah.
If the people listening would open my website and go to all my different photographs, autographed pictures from astronauts, from senators, from everybody you can imagine, they can see right there that I am not lying to any degree. I am telling the truth. MUFON is a governed agency of the New World Order. MUFON, MUFORN, MUFON.
Yeah.
MUFON, MUF. I forgot how to spell it.
Yeah. MUFON.
Okay, MUFON.
Yeah.
That's MUFON. They are a totally controlled New World Order agency that claims to be part of the United States, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but let's pray and hope and do our work that this will soon be over.
Well, I would hope so. My girlfriend, my fiance, she's very, very religious. She's Christian. I am not. I've given up Christianity and anything else there. But there is a God, and we live within the body of that God. We live within the universe.
Mm.
And the universe, with all the galaxies, the star constellations, and the planets around other planets out there, and the planets around other stars out there, like Aldebaran has 2 planets circling it.
Mm-hmm.
Aldebaran is the star of the nation on this planet that calls themselves the Aryans. That's Germany and other states around Germany there. That's who it is.
Yeah. Well, you know, those star beings that are watching us right now, I've heard from several different sources that it's now time to step in.
Yes, it is, but I can't do it. I'm not well. I need help. I don't have enough to buy food anymore. And I was pretty well destroyed financially because they own the finances.
Mm.
Actually, I hate finances because it is a system of greed.
Yes, it is.
What is called the system that's practiced here that was once in the USA, the system practiced here is a system of creating greed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's done because only the rich then can have a happy life while the majority of the people are poor and impoverished.
Yeah.
I know what it is because I'm there right now and I'm impoverished.
Yeah. The thing is that the one who controls the money controls everything.
Yeah, they do. So that's what they want to do, control and enslave every human on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do. That's what they are close to accomplishing. Close to accomplishing.
But you know, Clark, there are so many people who are waking up now and so many people that realize what's going on.
Well, yes, but you have to have power to change it, and none of us have the power.
Well, if we are with many, we can do something.
Well, many they can wipe out with an atom bomb too. It's almost at a World War III right now with Syria.
Mm.
If that happened, we would lose. Since there's 7 billion humans on Earth, we probably would lose 6 or 6.5, maybe 7 billion people. That would leave 1 billion people left to survive on the Earth, if they could survive. And would then the New World Order control those that are left? I don't know. I can't answer that.
Well, listen, Clark. I have heard news from several sources that this is not going to happen. There will be interference.
Yeah.
There's a revolution going on, my friend.
Oh yeah. I hope so, because we need it. We need it in the USA, but the USA is now a nation of cowardly people. They're cowards now. They won't uprise and save their own country. We get people coming out of high school that don't even know the history of this nation.
Mm.
I know because I've asked them questions. They're stupid kids. It's not all their fault because they're being taught by stupid teachers.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of those kids are now in contact with the internet, and they are seeing via the social media, Facebook and Twitter.
That's right. They're doing that.
They're waking up, my friend. They're waking up.
I do hope you're correct. How many minutes do we have left on the show?
We have 3 minutes left.
Okay, let me just please repeat. My website is www.stargate- that's a line between 2 letters, stargate-chronicles.com. Please, people that are listening, help me, please. I do need help. I'm sorry I have to ask you, but I have a lot that I can disclose, and I'm not doing very well. I'm sick.
Yeah.
Okay? So, people, thank you for hearing this. I hope I didn't insult anybody, but I told you the truth.
You did. You've been amazing, Clark.
Yeah. Well,
and
that's
bless
what I'm
you.
told.
Bless you for what you did. And we are living in a living universe, and this planet is a living being. And
that's right.
And the humans that are living on this planet are waking up. And they are.
That's right. And we're tiny little germinations. We are germinations on the surface of Earth. And what we do is we destroy the atmosphere, the oceans, rivers, streams. We destroy the planet and its trees, its vegetables, and everything. We destroy the atmosphere. We have chemtrails all over the United States.
Yeah, we have them here also. Chemtrails everywhere.
Do you really?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me when the countdown is for ending this, okay?
I will call you immediately, Clark.
All right. So I just would like, please, if you are listening, everybody that's listening, if there's anyone out there that's very rich, if you're able to help me, I need help. I need help very much. I'm sorry to have to do this, but if I didn't need help, there would be no reason for me to say that.
Well,
I need help.
You have told the truth on this station,
yes.
and you are loved for this. You are thanked for this and remembered for this, Clark.
I'm brave and courageous. If anybody out there has a used Macintosh computer, they could send me, not too used, but used. I would love to have one. If they have a used Macintosh computer. If anybody hears this, I need a Macintosh computer.
I'm going to send this to YouTube, this interview, so that many more people will hear this.
Okay, I appreciate that. Tell me when we have to end it, because it looks like it's right now.
Yeah, the Stargate Chronicles, Stargate-Chronicles.com. My guest was Clark McClelland, an aerospace engineer and space shuttle fleet SCO, NASA UFO researcher and author. Thank you for being on the show, Clark, and bless you.
I do, and I thank the people that are listening. I hope they heard what I need. Take care, and whatever God you believe in, I hope God protects all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Clark, and stay on the line. I'll talk to you after.
Okay, do that.